I've been suffering with sinus issues for many, many years. In fact, I have had 2 sinus surgeries and I'm still having issues. Today, I'm gonna do a little unboxing, demo, and review of the SinuPulse Elite. And what this is an automatic sinus irrigator. And we're gonna see how it works. Inside the box is a quick start guide and warranty card and instruction manual. The base has your on-off button, pressure control dial, and slots for all of your tools. Here's the on-off button, and here is the flow control dial. The light blue dial are the recommendations for when you're using the mist irrigator, and then the dark blue dial can control the levels all the way from 1 to 7. The wand has an orange release button, and this button can pause the spray. It fits nicely in this little slot. It uses a standard polarized plug. They also include 4 nozzles, 2 for your nose and 2 for your throat. The light tip produces a mist spray to help you moisturize and cleanse the nasal and sinus passages. The dark blue tip delivers a pulse rinse to reach higher into the nasal cavity. You can also clean the back of your throat with the included throat tips. The dark blue irrigator tip delivers a cleansing intermittent pulse rinse, or you can use the light tip, which is great for a moisturizing cleansing rinse. Ooh, that was a little high. I've also used them in my nose. It also comes with a huge tank that can hold up to 700 milliliters of water. And the lid has a little door which you can use for dropping in medication. And there's a little slot at the bottom where you could stow your cord. So one of the things I really like about this kit is the size of this tank. But one of the cons is I like to heat up my water because when it's cold, it does not feel great going up your nose. And you can't really heat it in this container, not only because the material can probably crack, also it's not flat. So when you set it down, it tilts to the side. And if you have this full, your water will run right out. So you'll need to heat up and mix your water in a separate container. Make sure that you always use distilled or filtered or bottled water because regular tap water can contain parasites and you don't want that stuff going up your nose. I'm just gonna heat this up in the microwave for about 30 seconds. Now I'm gonna go ahead and plug the machine into the wall and put the tank on the base. Make sure it's in there really good so that it doesn't leak. They also provide you with a pack of saline packets, and there's a fairly large quantity, so it's great if you're gonna be using up this entire tank. So I'm gonna rip that open and pour it in my water. There's also a little opening here, which if you prefer, you can just pour your water into that as well. This little button right here helps release the tip, and this pauses your water flow. So let's start by putting the wand in the base, and I held the tip down. If you have any issues, just hold the tip down. Now you need to be careful because as soon as you turn it on, the machine's gonna start spraying water. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the fine mist tip. All right, here we go. I'm gonna put it in my nose and turn on the machine, and it's gonna instantly go in my nostril and pour out the other side. Let's do this. And then you can push the button down to pause it and switch sides. Then you're gonna tilt your head to each side and give it a little blow. Always make sure you turn off the machine if you're gonna switch nozzles. But I have to say that the throat irrigator tips actually provide a much stronger water flow than either of these 2 tips. So that's why sometimes I like to use these over these. I'll show you what I mean. But honestly, I'm kind of a pro at nasal irrigation by now, so use that method at your own risk. So let's talk about some of the pros of the SinuPulse Elite. It has a huge tank, which allows you to rinse your sinuses for much longer than traditional methods. I also like that it has a nice selection of tips that you can use. Everything can be stored neatly in one little section here. Another nice feature is that it does have a pause button so that you can stop in between moving from one sinus to another. And I also like that you can control the flow with just the twist of a dial. What I don't like is that I don't like having to mix my ingredients before I put it in the tank. I mean, I guess you could probably just pour the saline in and pour water on top of it, which might work, but I'm not sure that it's getting effectively mixed in there. For anybody that's used to using a handheld pump or the Navage, you will find that the SinuPulse Elite spray is a lot weaker. It's almost like rinsing your sinuses in a water fountain because the flow is just a lot more gentle, and I feel like I need that stronger stream to get all the gunk out of the back. The third thing I don't like is, you guys, I cannot get through using this thing without getting soaked. I mean, it could just be me, but like this thing makes kind of a mess. So I don't love that. I think that needs a little bit of improvement. Overall, I think it's a decent machine. If you suffer from sinus issues and you're one of those people that likes to rinse a couple times a day, this might not be a bad option for you. What method do you prefer to rinse your sinuses? Leave me a comment and let me know. And as always, thank you so much for watching.